Let's talk for a second. Close your eyes and see yourself as a 28-year-old man or female making $8 an hour. Imagine you having 3 kids. Imagine not having enough money to pay for your bills, not having your phone paid for, not being able to travel, not being able to just jump in a jet and go. Now imagine you're the CEO. Imagine you have everything paid. Imagine you have more money than you can spend. This is real life. This is exactly how it is. There's an employee making $8. There's a CEO making millions and still having a very large profit for the company. According to ABC News, Department of Labor, payscale.com, the average employee for Walmart or fast food restaurants is making $17,000 a year. Very little. Where the average household income should be around $51,000 as of 2012. There's a growing discrepancy between what CEOs should make and what the average employee is making. There's a very large gap, and it's getting bigger. Today what I want to talk to you about is how CEOs are paid versus the average employee. I'll give you some examples of those things, as well as examples of these corporations with these large salaries for these CEOs. Tell you the difference between that. And then I'm going to tell you why this even matters and what the next steps are. So let's start with the CEOs. We already know employees are getting paid hourly. A lot of us are not getting bonuses. If we are, it's very small. We don't have stock options. We don't get cash bonuses. But the CEOs do. They have a large salary already. It could be based on their education, granted. That's a good thing. You went to school, you learned a lot, you're smart, you know how to run a company. You should be paid for it. I agree. But along with that base salary, there's stock options, which are just given to you. Or most of them are not paying for it. There's cash and non-cash bonuses. Then they have their expenses paid, whether it's travel expenses or personal expenses, can easily be paid and written off as a company expense. So the money that they earn just goes in their pocket. They're not paying for it. Where most of us, not even close. Let's look at some of those companies. Let's talk about McDonald's. Great company, CEO trying to make some changes, finally caved in on raising the wages for their employees. As of last year, CEO of McDonald's salary was $9.55 million. Average employee, $22,000. It's 435 times more. Walmart CEO, $23.1 million. Average employee, $22,400. That's 1,000 times more. 1,000 times more. CEO of Target, $17.9 million. Average employee, $29,000. It's 597 times more. Very big differences. And we haven't talked about their profits yet for the company. But leaving it just at the salary, it's already unfair. So why does this even matter? Well, obviously, some of us actually patron these places, helping the CEOs make their numbers so they can get their enormous bonuses and salaries. And then some of us are actually working there, getting right above what minimum wage is, which obviously will bring government intervention. If they don't raise the minimum wage, there'll be legislation to force you to. Some cities, like Chicago and Seattle, they've already raised their minimum wage for the city, $15 an hour. This is maybe 2 weeks old, and they've already increased it. They actually get it. They understand that it costs more to live now. You can't live off the minimum anymore. Now, one other thing that, as far as government intervention, there's a bill in California. I read about this on ABC News last week. There's a bill to reduce that disparity between CEO pay and average employee. And obviously it's a concern to more than just me. Average employees' wages increase maybe 1.8% a year. CEOs, roughly 11% more every year they get an increase. That's huge. There has to be an even ground somewhere between CEOs, average employee. It has to be fair. We all should be able to eat and live and vacation and be happy. These ways, these facts, these companies continues, it's going to get worse. And none of us will be able to make it.